What's up, guys? Teddy Cornwell here. Welcome to the Underdog Talk. Something about the underdog. Today we have the CEO of BPI Sports on the Underdog Talk. But before we get into this interview, you guys know I have to give this man a proper Underdog Talk introduction. Today's guest is a proud father of three, a NPC Universe champ, a Ultimate Fitness athlete, a master of the jet ski, and finally, the chief executive officer of one of the hottest supplement companies, I'm going to say it, in the world, BPI Sports. I am proud and honored to present the one and only Mr. Chris MacKenzie. What is up, sir?
Give it up. Teddy, you do a wonderful job with all your intros, man. I'm always very impressed.
Chris, I appreciate that. I think the one thing I put in there, I didn't know if you noticed, but the master jet ski, not even the CEO or the proud father of three, the master jet ski I added there.
I know you went deep, man. I'm very impressed with that. And if anybody's wondering, it's a 2018 GP 1800. This thing is fucking awesome. Fast, great.
Bad boy.
Yeah, what a blast.
Whoa, that's a bad boy. Oh, wow.
Are you a jet ski guy?
I've done it before. I'm not saying I'm a jet ski guy. Those things are fun.
Bodybuilding is such a niche sport that all outsiders hate. I had to find something that people understand less and hate more. So jet skiing seemed to be the right thing for that.
Chris, I love it. I love that. I mean, who doesn't like jet skiing? Now, Chris, before we start this interview, I have to ask, you just posted a video on your Instagram of, I'm going to say, deadlifting a lot of weight. Chris, I have to ask, how much weight was that?
Dude, I'm super glad you started there. You are a great young interviewer. I'm actually quite impressed. So, everybody's got something they're good at. And for me, for some reason, these hex bar deadlifts, I love them. So that would have been 640 pounds, but the kettlebells fell off, which is a bummer. So my real goal, which is coming up, Teddy, I want to do a 4 times body weight hex bar deadlift. So for me, I'm just under 180 right now. I've been dieting, and you and I have one thing in common, which is a show coming up the next couple weeks. And I want to hear all about yours before I even talk about mine. But I'm thinking, while my weight's low and I know I can pull 650 on a hex bar, drop a pound or two, get to 175. 4 times that is 700. I'm pretty much right there. That would be like a pretty sick bullet note for my next interview with you, So I think that's what I'm going to go for.
I think we're going to have Chris on the pod. Chris, I'm going to say it, and I've had a lot of notable guests on. Chris, you are the most energetic guest I've had on, and I love it. I fucking love it. And I mean, the hex bar deadlift is honestly so underrated. I've been actually looking a lot into the hex bar deadlift. Speaking of the hex bar deadlift, in terms of the mobility and the stability it gives. So I love the hex bar deadlift. Honestly, I've been reading that it's actually a better workout than the regular deadlift, which will be controversial, but I like the hex bar deadlift, Chris. And speaking of bodybuilding show, this is so funny how life ties in. I was actually out of town, and obviously I have a bodybuilding show coming up, and I had to go to a new gym, and get one of the guest passes. And now, Chris, I saw today on your story you posted a question, and I actually said no to this, but you said, is $20 really too much for a day pass? And I actually said no, but the right answer to you was yes. Honestly, I don't think $20 is that crazy. Chris, is that? Am I out of line here?
Well, it's a great question, man. I don't know. I don't own a gym. I've often thought, about maybe opening something, and it's actually hard to make money in a gym. You know what I mean? So as the gym owner, I don't blame them for wanting $20, but I stopped by one of the local, hardcore gyms yesterday because I was just in that part of town, and I was alone, and I don't try to flex. Oh, I work for a brand or anything. So I just said to the kid at the desk, who probably wouldn't have known me anyway. He said, it's $20. I thought to myself, I mean, look, I don't know if you can see behind me, but I got a pretty good setup here. I got it. I said, man, do I really want to spend $20 to do some shit I could go do at my own house? But I did it. 20's a little steep, I thought, but it's a good gym. The name's Busybody. It's in Boca. It's one of the local hotspots. I mean, it used to be like the who's who down here, but then the Redcon gym kind of ate into some of their who's who-ness. But if you're not involved with the Redcon brand, you might not want to go there. So Busybodies remains relevant. I think the biggest name I saw yesterday, who you might remember, former NPC, IFBB superstar Darren Charles. He's a trainer there, so it's always cool to see these, legends in their element. But I think $20 a bit much. And I also think, and this is weird, but if you're a hardcore gym and you're really good, you should set a low day pass so you can get really good people coming through and not look at that day pass as your chance to kind of like make the vig on your monthly rent. Another really good gym down here named University Fitness, $5 a day for a day pass. And they got great machines. And they do it just for that reason. They want people coming through. So I was just kind of curious what other people thought. But obviously, Teddy, I got to say, I thought it was all right because I paid it. I could have left.
Chris, that's fair. You did pay it. And I mean, or you could be like our guy, Branch Warren, who Branch was telling me he hasn't paid for a gym membership since he was in high school. And also, I would add to that point. Now I'm seeing your side of it because as much as people hate on Planet Fitness, I'm pretty sure that membership's like $10 a month. So for I do see your point in perspective now, Chris. $20, I mean, can they give me at least a free protein shake or a shirt with something like that?
Funny you say that. The water was out when I went there, and then I had to buy like a $5 bottle of water too. I was like, man, this guy's he got me by the purse strings.
All right, so they got you there. All
hey,
right.
One quick anecdote that I want to tell you. I listened to your interview with Rich Gaspari, who grew up in my neighborhood. Rich is probably close to 10 years older than me, and I've met Rich in passing. We don't have any real relationship, but I won't lie, as an up-and-coming kid, Rich was on all the magazine covers, and he was a Jersey guy. I always thought he was like the coolest dude. He told a really funny story about he used to sneak into the Rutgers gym. And, I was thinking about what I would talk to you about. And I guess, we don't want to, you don't want to ask everybody the same question, like, how'd you get started? And everybody says, well, I was small in high school and lifted weights. But the one thing that he said that I really resonated with is, I grew up in a town called North Caldwell, New Jersey, real nice town. It's like where they filmed The Sopranos. Ooh. And I actually went to private school because my older brother was so crazy. He tarnished the family reputation at the public school, and my mom was like, you can't go there in his shadow because, he ruined it for decades to come, right? But for 3 summers in a row, I told the football coach I was transferring back into that school from private school so I could train in the gym with the football team. And then the last week I'd be like, I'd either just dip out or not go. So, that desire, and you got it too, I'm sure, just to get in the gym and be a part of it and be where the weights are. I mean, that's what really separates everyone on your podcast and everyone listening from the rest of the fucking world,
Chris, that's sneaky as fuck, and I loved it. I've definitely I've sneaked into my fair share of gyms because, well, to be honest, I'm a college student and I didn't have the money. So we are on the same page now on the gym membership and sneaking into the gyms. Now, Chris, I want to start from the beginning because you have one of the most interesting kind of come-ups I've seen in a while. You go to Gettysburg College and also American University. Now, you majored in political science at Gettysburg. Chris, what did you major in at American University, if you mind me asking?
Oh, man, you should work for the FBI because you do awesome research, and I mean that complimentary. So my time at American was actually on a specific program for journalism. I went to college like everyone else, had no clue what I wanted to do. Gettysburg was a pretty good school. I was actually a lacrosse player, and I had a chance to play there, although I only played 2 years because grades, marijuana, and kids from Maryland that were way better than I thought they were at lacrosse kind of took the steam out of my lacrosse sales. Because I'll tell you, those kids from Maryland look preppy and all, but they will whoop you on the lacrosse field.
I'm from Maryland. They got some good players around here. I'll say that.
If you like the sport of lacrosse, do not sleep on those kids in loafers. They might look like preppy little, softies, but
They're damn
These
good.
kids are definitely wolves and not sheep on the lacrosse field. Anyway, so poli-sci, thought maybe I'd go to law school, realized academics, weren't my thing. Tried to think of what I could do next. And I went down to American to do a journalism semester my senior year. It was awesome. I worked for the local radio station named WTOP, which is all news. I interviewed. They loved me. It was a real good opportunity for me. And it kind of starts what you're going to get to, which is the come up in the game. I was always a shitty student, and I always was confident in my athletics and stuff, but my academics I was never good at. So it was one of the very first positive academic experiences in my life. They sent me to do interviews that they sent their professional reporters to. I interviewed the mayor of D.C. at the time, Sharon Pratt Kelly. I interviewed Stephen King.
Yep.
I interviewed a couple senators. It was really pretty awesome. So that kind of reinvigorated my academic side. And then, look, I loved working out. I worked out in college. I did my first show 1 year after college. Hang on, my daughter's out here in the garage.
Oh, I thought it was the Great Dane, Chris. I don't know if that was.
I was scared it was too, because they opened the door and they would definitely ruin a video.
And I think that was a little too much stalking. That I know you have a Great Dane. I'm just gonna say we here at the Underdog Talk we know our guests. That's what I'll say.
I got 4 dogs. I got 2 Danes, a mixed breed, and we just got a poodle that my wife wanted a poodle to get into this like designer labradoodle, Bernie Doodle type game. So
I like that.
And a bird. It's a full house, and the 3 kids. But I'm going to run you through this real quick because I kind of know what you're looking for, and I want to give it to you. So this is a good lesson for anybody who loves bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is a tough career. As an athlete, as a supplement guy, as an influencer, it looks glamorous, but it's tough and it doesn't pay very well at first. So even though I loved working out, I did consider being like a personal trainer. I just decided that grind wasn't for me, although I did some personal training through my life as an extra job, but I didn't want to be full-time. Took my college experience, went to work for a couple of Manhattan ad agencies. Advertising agencies were the shit in the early 90s. It was a great career. Wound up working in the software world, doing marketing for IBM, and then like one of these .coms that blew up in the like Y2K era. And then I kind of got my first, like I called it a quarter life crisis because it wasn't a midlife crisis. But I was like, this software marketing thing isn't for me. I'm making a decent living. And the housing boom had started. I wound up taking buying into a construction business with a friend of mine. And we were doing great. They were building houses left and right. This before the bubble burst. It was a great living. But all that time, I always was trying to do something in fitness. I did a little personal training. I competed. And then I got lucky enough in 2001. I was in a bodybuilding show and somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, we have this supplement company. We want to put you in one of our ads." And Teddy, at first, actually the guy said this. He said, "Hey, my wife saw you on stage and really likes your look. We want to put you in an ad." And you know how creepy the bodybuilding world is. So the first thing I'm thinking, is this guy asking me to bang his wife while he stands in the corner? But that was not the case. They were a very honest group. It was actually, if you're familiar with the catalog ProSource, which was a huge deal for so many years, it was one of their companies and went great. I parlayed that into some demo work. All while having a real career, going to GNC's, vitamin shops, and handing out samples, going to bodybuilding shows for a couple brands. This is before social media. So I sometimes joke that I was the first brand ambassador that there was because I wasn't good enough to be a sponsored athlete, right? I'm not delusional. I'm not Branch Warren. I'm not getting a contract. But I found a niche in which I could be involved on the business side of it, and hopefully it would lead to more. At that time, in a different business, I met the guy who owns and founded BPI. Did a little work with him, and then he kind of was pulling some shit together, and he said, "Chris, I'm starting this new thing, and my personal network is only so big, and you're in it, so if you want in, flip the switch." And a year later, I wound up divesting from my construction business, came down here, worked full-time. I was BPI technically employee number 2, because I already had a receptionist and a warehouse guy, but right there, right ground level. And I know you're a GNC guy. We had our huge GNC romance period. Sub-brands, sister brands. We did it all, and it's been quite a ride. And after the company got its legs under it, the owner, wanted to get himself out of day-to-day stresses, and I was able to take over and run the business, and that's what brought me to where I am. But Teddy, to sum it up, my message to kids like you, and you're actually already ahead of the game, so kids that are looking at you and kind of figuring out how to get there, keep your shit straight, be prepared to work, and realize that even if you do get a job in the field of bodybuilding or supplementation that you love, you still need to know Excel. You still need to know PowerPoint. You still need to know how to write an email. And if you can't do that stuff, you can't get a real job in the industry, and you'll be relegated towards making Instagram videos for coupon codes and personal training. Not that that's bad, but you're not going to break into that professional threshold unless you're ready for professional level skills. So just a word to the wise. And for you, my friend, I want to ask you a question.
Of course.
I know your podcast is relatively new.
2 months. Well,
how on earth did you explode onto the scene and get all the guests that you have, myself not included, because I'm definitely tier 3 on your guest list. But you got Rich Gaspari, Branch Warren, Mike Rashid, some guy I don't know who says he's a top natty guy, and I got a bone to pick with that kid because I'm in the natty section. But I know that was actually a great interview. I'm only joking. I mean, what did you do to get yourself on the map so fast? Because it is quite impressive.
You forgot Kevin Levrone. So I think I've had 3 of the top 15 bodybuilders of all time. And Chris, I'm going to relegate you to. I'm going to move you up to tier 1 because you are. I think you need to give yourself a little more credit on this list. That's a question I get asked a lot, and I think it's a very interesting question because I shouldn't be getting these people on a show that's only been 2 months old. I shouldn't be talking to owners of Rise, owners of Galaxa. I shouldn't be having the man behind, Generation Iron. Chris Geskin's coming on. Like, I should not be, we had Mark Lawbliner. We had all these people, owners of Bucked Up. I shouldn't be here. I think the one thing, simple messages, I reached out to Chris. There's going to be breaking news. We got one of your guys on your new pre-workout. The wrestler, he'll be coming on. I don't know if you even knew that. What's his name? Last name Gunn, Gunn.
Yeah, Billy Gunn.
Yeah, he'll be coming on. I was letting you know that. I think the simple thing is reaching out. The truth is, I believe in this show. I believe in what it has to offer. So that's really the driving force, And I started out with a guy named Shulk 2 months ago. Pretty big name, 1 million followers on TikTok. And since then, one name leads to another. It's like a building block. And I think my message for people who are watching this, and Chris can relate to this, is, never give up. Things will happen. You got to trust the process. You got to love the process. Just like Chris loved the process on becoming now the CEO, because you didn't just start out as the CEO, as you mentioned. You worked your way up. You believed in what you had to offer. And I think it's the same as the Underdog Talk. We believed in what we had to offer. To answer your question to that, Chris.
Well, congrats, man. I mean, you did great. You put yourself on the map faster than anyone else seems to do it. So very impressive. And I'll tell you one secret that will help you. This is a real insider secret. Bodybuilding people love attention. So when you hit them up and say you got a podcast for them to be on, it's like they're going to show up.
Well, and Chris, I think the one thing is we're actually branching out now of bodybuilding. I don't know if you know who Ryan Lochte is, 12-time Olympic medalist.
Dude, no, I listened to your interview with him. I was a high school swimmer, so that one.
Wow!
That one had a little extra interest to me, but that was great.
And we are going out to other athletes. So right now I have a whole. I mean, we have probably about 2-3 interviews each day for the next month, and I haven't released some of them yet because we're still finding dates. But we have some huge NFL athletes coming on who are just going to shock the world. So that's what we're also trying to do: get out of that, comfort zone of just bodybuilders and fitness, because I think they have so much to offer. But I think the show has so much to offer. And I tell people, Chris, I'm a regular guy. I am blessed and honored to be where I am talking to people.
You're not even a regular guy, and I don't mean in a bad way. You're just a kid. You're still in college, right?
I am.
Yeah, I mean, a regular guy would be 30-something and working. You're not even at that point yet. I mean, it's very impressive. I give you a lot of congrats. And then, Teddy, while we're talking about you, tell me what show you're doing, and you're, 2 or 3 weeks out now?
You see, Chris, I thought I was a good researcher, and to give it everyone, Chris MacKenzie might be the better researcher than me. And yes, Chris, I am 2 weeks out. It'll be July 14th. I'm doing a PCA, first timers, Maryland first timers. I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. Mentally, I've been grinding. I mean, as you know, an NPC champion, Chris, it's hard. Bodybuilding's hard, and it's. I've always said I'm gonna do it, and I was like, you know what? Now's the time, and I've got to do it. So, Chris, that's where I'm at right now, and yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know that organization that well. They're new. They do have a little bit of action down in Florida, but in North Florida. But
totally are big.
yep,
Yes.
I wish you the best of luck. You're going to do what are you? Men's physique, classic physique, bodybuilding.
I'm gonna do 23 and under classic physique.
Right on.
Yes.
Have you worked with a coach?
Yep, I do have a coach. We've been prepping for 3 to 4 months.
Is your coach a secret, or you want to say the name?
His name is Jameson. So yeah, it's not a secret. I mean, he's in my Instagram. He's a great coach. I mean, I started at 156. I'm 134 right now. So definitely a great transformation. Now, Chris, you are, speaking of champions, you are an NPC champion and lifetime natural bodybuilder. And I mean, I actually am interested. Why did you decide to get into bodybuilding? Obviously, you had a love for fitness, and everyone has their stories on why they start. But why the sport of bodybuilding for yourself, Chris?
Right. I mean, my story again. I heard your interview with Rich, and except for the fact he made it to the Olympia and I didn't. At least our stories start a lot alike, and probably like a lot of your listeners, and probably like you. When I was a kid, I just wanted to have muscles, and when I got to high school, there's a really good book by an older bodybuilder that I don't know if you would have heard of. His name was Bob Parrish. He's from the 80s. He was like, if you're in classic physique, you should really look him up because he was considered the most aesthetic bodybuilder in the 80s. He also was the first pro bodybuilder to come out as being a homosexual, which he really did with a lot of class. And I think he helped the culture understand that there's no taboo or fear that needs to be implied. He wrote a book called Gorilla Suit. Man, it's like 20 years ago, and I read it. But just like Rich's story, my story, his story was his teacher sent him to go get something from the closet in the back of the school. And when he went there, he opened his door and there was this dusty old Universal machine that the school had in storage. And he would sneak in there every day. I guess sneaking into the closet is a funny thing considering the gay narrative of his life. But he would sneak into this closet and work out every day. And one thing he said that I thought was so funny in the book, it was apparently so dusty that he would come out covered in dust. And people would be like, dude, what the heck have you been doing? So a lot like that, I was just drawn to working out early. I mean, I remember being a kid and begging my parents to buy me a weight set. And my mom was then and is to this day, and she's 90, still anti-bodybuilding. She's an older person, and she still has the connotation of Muscle Beach in the 50s and sketchy shit going on. And, she thinks you got to do, half gay stuff if you want to be in there. And she's old fashioned. So she's really against it, even now. And I know, she's very proud that I've built a good career, but I know that it kind of burns her that I still work out all the time. She'll still say to me, Chris, all that working out, you really better stop soon. And I'm like, dude, don't hate on it. Just give up and get on board. It's a good thing. I met my wife at a bodybuilding show, for Christ's sake,
Wow, that's awesome.
But with all that said, I just always loved it. I wanted to get into it. As I mentioned earlier, I kind of stopped playing lacrosse in college when partying and academics got in the way. But my first year out of college, I joined my local gym, and it was basically, no joke, the name of it was Phoenix. It was an alleyway in between two buildings that they turned into an indoor facility. And I walked in there one of the very first days. I kind of always wanted to go there because I'd worked out at the Y when I was in high school. I actually worked at the Y, lifeguarding and stuff. And the first person I saw when I walked in literally was Gerard, who founded MHP.
He's coming on the show too.
Gerard in his peak was as beautiful a physique as you'll ever see. And I'm friendly with Gerard, and I joke with him, but like literally, it was like, dude, jaw on the floor, right? I'm like, I would kill to look like this motherfucker.
Oh my God, I'm an idiot. So we're having Gerard on the show, and I didn't even know. I thought he was just the owner, so I literally was talking to him as
Oh, no, man. Gerard took top. I think he took as high as second or third in the nationals in the '90s. And he also had a real modeling career. He was in like I don't know, like a Jameson whiskey ad campaign and stuff.
Yeah.
No, he's a good dude, man. He's a solid guy, and he built. I mean, look, you're a little young, so you might not remember, but MHP and Muscle Meds at their peak, they were probably. I'll get a little bit industry here. Probably about a $75 million brand, I would guess, which is almost as big as, say, like Redcon is now. Probably as big as I would guess like Bucked Up is. I mean, like a big brand. Like,
yes.
If a brand makes $50 million in a year, they've broken a plateau that most people could never get to. And he did that for the better part of a decade. So, anyway, back to the progression. Saw him, and a year later, after joining that gym, I did my first bodybuilding show. It happened to have been a national show, a natty show. That organization I did got rolled into the OCB now. But I never took any steroids. And that's actually half a lie. In high school, my friends and I got a bottle of steroids. We didn't even know what to do with them. We got a bottle of D-ball. And I remember sitting there with like the D-ball in my hand. And I was only in 10th grade. And steroids were actually like kind of legal in the 80s. Like they were classified different. And I was just like, this just isn't for me. And I actually never really like took it. But I literally had it. And I had that moment kind of like Chris Rock in Do the Right Thing, what's the movie? Not Do the Right Thing. What was the drug movie he was in? Anyway, you're sitting there with it in your hand and you're just thinking like, is this what I want to do? I decided no. And I chose to compete in natural bodybuilding, not because I wanted to proudly wear my natty status, just because I knew it would be an easier playing field to get into the competition. So my first show actually was not a natty show. It was the NPC Suburban, put on by a guy named John Kemper, who's since dead, founder of Diamond Gym in New Jersey and a true bodybuilding legend, someone people should know about. And Diamond Gym is something people should know about. It's a fucking thing, and it led our sport and kept our sport alive from 65 until Steve killed it in New Jersey and New York in the early 2000s. That's enough of that soapbox. Anyway, competed, loved it, realized this could have a good impact on my life. Did a lot of NPC shows, did a lot of natural organization shows, and I realized that the NPC universe, called the Team Universe at the time, I always felt that was the premier natural bodybuilding event. And it was in the NPC, which I loved. And if you won it, you got to be an IFBB pro. One of my best friends, who's a killer bodybuilder, a gentleman named Tim Martin, he won it in 2008 or 2009. He went on to have a moderately successful IFBB career for a 40-year-old natty guy. I mean, very impressive. He took third at a Europa Pro and third at a men's physique. I mean, really impressive stuff. Won that, and that was 2009, and kind of felt like I had reached as far as bodybuilding could take me. Coincidentally, I took the job at BPI at that time and moved to Florida. Moved down here. That year, my wife happened to get lymphoma, and we went through a whole cancer thing. She went through 11 rounds of chemo, full-on cancer. But then she got better, and she was real strong. She went through it, really wonderfully, and honestly, never even batted an eye. She got her diagnosis, we got her treatment plan, and fucking head down. 11 months later, clean bill of health, and the hair grew back, So praise to her, praise to God for keeping us safe. But then I said, you know what, I'm going to try it again. And I didn't know anyone in Florida. I did an NPC show, I did a natty show, and then, believe it or not, I was 40 at the time. I thought I was just, fucking around. But I won 3 natty pro cards and 2 NPC overalls and 2 NPC class wins in the second half of my career. So it proved to be really fruitful, and not just for my career as working in the supplement industry, but for my life and my kind of personal story. It's been great. And I won't lie, when you go on a sales call to a GNC or a Walmart or a vitamin shop, it doesn't hurt to be able to talk about winning a bodybuilding show. So that's my kind of soup to nuts long personal story.
I love that, and I'm so happy to hear that your wife, beat cancer. Congratulations to her. What a fighter. I love hearing good news, especially. And now I finally got to talk about the 3-letter was gonna say, yeah, 3 letters across your chest, BPI Sports. Now, BPI has blown up over the years. And I mean, you guys are in so many mom and pop stores, you're in Vitamin Shop, and you are in GNC. So, 2 things. First
No,
question.
no GNC. We're done with them. We left GNC in 2019. GNC is a great group, but it just wasn't healthy for us, so we got out of that. But Vitamin Shop, and I definitely want to plug Walmart, because Walmart is one of our best
I just you
accounts,
guys at Walmart today.
and they have an awesome selection. I mean, Dimetized Protein, Optimum Protein, Cellucor products, BPI, and you're going to see 3 new Mike O'Hearn products pop up into Walmart in August, which is a really exciting thing for my company.
Damn right. Yeah, so not GNC anymore. I had flashbacks of when you were in our store. Yeah, I had flashbacks.
Yeah, no, we did our time there. It wasn't a bad period at all. It's just not part of our current, landscape.
So then, besides those products coming into Walmart, what is next for BPI? Where do you see BPI down the line as a supplement company, Chris?
Man, we ask ourselves this question every day, and the day you stop asking that is the day you go out of business, right?
Nice.
It's really funny, and coming back to the underdog theme that you have. I mean, my brand was the Underdog for its first 10 years, and the guy that founded the business, my friend Derek, we fought tooth and nail for everything, every placement, every bottle, every sample pack. And then all of a sudden you look up and you realize you're 10 years old and there's younger guys underneath following your path. And that's when you transition to what we like to call like a legacy brand, a known thing. But we still have the underdog mentality. We still have that hungry, want to grow, want to expand. My good friend Whitney Reed, who's our EVP, he's an amazing athlete himself. He's married to IFBB pro India Polino, and Whitney's done an amazing part with his career. He spent the last 2 or 3 years building an international business for BPI that's second to none. We're available globally. We have huge distribution in great markets, the Middle East, India, South America, Mexico, with some great partners down there. So continued global growth is what you do. And then innovation. We have some really cool products coming out. I don't want to say too much yet because timing's always dicey, but we got a huge relaunch of our pre-workout on the very near horizon, One More Rep, which is really like a legendary pre-workout. It's going to be a knock you on your ass, energy all day long kind of thing like it was when we started. And continuing our partnership with Mike O'Hearn, growing his brand. As I mentioned, we got 3 products from Mike going into the Walmart set in August, which is a tremendous accomplishment. Mike will really be, as far as I know, the only pure influencer brand merchandised in Walmart, which is a huge accomplishment for Mike and for the BPI brand. And we just want to continue growing in the U.S. I mean, funny thing is, the digital landscape is, crazy. So we're still trying to, conquer Amazon without bastardizing and, devaluing your brand, which is a challenge. And we're also working right now, and I'm happy to tell you and all your listeners, I'm building a world-class affiliate and brand ambassador network. So if anyone's ever interested in aligning with BPI, you can look through my Instagram account. Maybe about 15 lines down now, you'll see a video of me wearing a yellow hoodie. If you watch that video, it tells you exactly how to get involved with our brand ambassador program. And once we bring you in on that, we are kind of matriculating people up into higher brand ambassador roles and building that, broad athlete team that every brand wants to have. So, my friend, continued domestic growth and continued international growth. And honestly, 12 years into the game, I think we're not even a quarter of the way into the BPI life cycle. It's really exciting.
That's scary to me, Chris, because I've always, and I love the Underdog because I believe I'm the underdog. And I've never viewed BPI as an underdog. I've always viewed it, to me personally, as a top supplement brand. When you think of supplements, I mean, you think of BPI as one of those top ones. So I love hearing that you guys still have that underdog mentality and that, you just keep on working harder. And that's what's going to set you apart. And that's what will set people apart even when you have success, just keep on being better, keep on driving. And I love that about you and BPI, Chris. I think that's amazing. Now, Chris, I know you're a busy guy. I mean, you are you're the CEO of a supplement company. But before we, end this interview, I like to get my guests out of here with some rapid fire questions. Are you down, Chris?
I am ready. Let's go.
Favorite BPI sports product?
Well, I didn't hear it. Just name a product?
Favorite BPI sports
Favorite.
product? Yeah.
Yep. Definitely our best BCAA. Our amino acids have been killing it for years. I drink like 100 scoops a day.
I'm not gonna lie. I think your CLA and carnitine blend is probably one of the best on the market. I'm gonna say that. It's a killer formula, and the taste on those.
Yeah, we were actually one of the first. I mean, it sounds stupid because they're such a great. We were the first people to put CLA and carnitine into the same product.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We were just one day. We're like, why is no one doing this?
I love that. So speaking of BPI, no BPI pump formula for a year, or no more 1 rep for a year?
Whew. I would say no more 1 more rep because I drink plenty of coffee anyway. But I do love the pump formula.
Yeah, the pump formula. I had the Michael Hearn pump formula. Boom.
Awesome.
I
love
it.
it. It's probably that. That might actually have been my favorite product. Although I do use the BCAs a lot more just because I'm on autopilot putting in my water all day.
I like that. Favorite flavor of pizza?
I like it plain, cheese and tomato sauce, but it's got to be a thin crust. Don't forget, I'm from New Jersey, so I am very spoiled with my pizza flavors.
I like that. Favorite flavor of BPI protein?
I'm going to rock everyone's world. I strictly use vanilla protein, and I will tell you why. I like to mix my protein into things other than water sometimes. I put a scoop of protein in a Gatorade, like that orange sickle with the Gatorade Zero Orange, and obviously you can't do that with chocolate. So I pretty much eat just vanilla protein. And I do eat literally 5 scoops a day.
Wow. That's why you're big. All right.
I get it for free. Hey, I get it for free, man.
That's true. I was going to say, if you guys want to get big, get BPI protein because, I mean, look at Chris. I'm not going to lie. That chocolate brownie flavor, that sounds really damn good. So I'm going to have to look into that after that. So I know you guys' flavors are on point. So chocolate brownie and
We're going to have to get the Underdog podcast loaded up on BPI bottles.
Baby, I love what I hear.
Yeah, man.
Last 2 questions are big ones, Chris. Talk like Rocky for the rest of your life, or have to box Rocky Balboa in his prime?
Okay, I would definitely box him because we actually had Sylvester Stallone appear at a trade show with us in maybe 2016. Number one, he is the nicest guy you would expect. He did have a security people with him, so I thought, oh, look at this, like prima donna, but even the security guys were cool. He was great. But he's a lot smaller than I thought. Like, I'm taller than him, and I'm not tall at all. So I think I could take him even in his prime. Hey, I got another funny thing for you. When you go back and watch the early Rocky movies, so you're going back and watching them like retrospectively. I was like a kid when they came out. I thought Stallone was like the biggest guy in the world. And now you go back and you see Rocky 2 and he's barely even ripped. You're like, oh man, this guy was my role model. So funny how the world works. But I would box him and not talk like him.
I love that, Chris. I will say it's Sylvester Stallone and Rich Kaspari calls him Sly. Sly, if you're watching this, you are pretty damn big in Rambo. So I'll give you credit for that. But Rocky, you did fall off a little. But
Rocky 3, he came back super jacked. It was 1 and 2. I guess in the 70s, people just weren't used to seeing really big dudes. So, Arnold blew everyone's mind, and Stallone was able to pass. It was really big because we just, the market hadn't seen it yet,
Final question, Chris. This is going to determine who you really are. Pull-ups or chin-ups?
Oh, wide grip pull-ups all day.
Let's go! I love it. Pull-ups are superior to chin-ups. If you say chin-ups, I don't want to talk to you. I mean, guys, we are talking with Chris MacKenzie, CEO of BPI Sports. Chris, it has been such an honor and privilege. So much fun talking to you. Before we go, is there anything you want to plug? The floor is yours. Where we can find your content, where we can find your highlights. I mean, I want to watch you on stage. The floor is yours, Chris.
Well, that's really nice of you. BPI, we do a ton. Our main social media is our Instagram, so it's just BPI_sports. We are on TikTok as well. Personally, my name is BPI_Chris. I also answer all my DMs, so if people wanted to have any questions about the brand, you can always hit me up personally. And I really want to encourage everybody, because it's the one thing I am most excited about in 2022. Man, these years pass by too fast. When the new Walmart assortment gets out, check it out. There's going to be a lot of excitement in that store in the end of August, early September. We are really thrilled to have, we have our BCAAs, we'll have our topical weight loss shredding gel on shelf, and then 3 products from the Michael Hearn line. The pump that you mentioned, a joint product, will be the only joint product merchandise in the sports nutrition area, and Mike's test booster. So really exciting wins for BPI, for the Titan series, for Mike, and it's part of a really great retail assortment with a great everyday low price model. So if you're not shopping there for subs, don't be shy. Go check it out, because you'll be impressed.
I will be switching from Target to Walmart, effective immediately. I'm not gonna lie, I was in Giant yesterday and I saw some BPI, so I was like, damn,
Giant has a good assortment of products. Actually, they have a nice amount of space.
Yeah,
where do you live? Maryland, you said?
Yes, sir. Maryland, Columbia, Maryland. The Clarksville Giant. Shout out to them. They had best BCAs. I'm pretty sure they had 1 rep max, and I want to say there was another one. So
I think the CLA might have been in there. We've had the CLA in there.
Yeah, Giants representing. I love it.
Oh, so you're a Maryland guy, so you know what I'm talking about with these
the lacrosse,
lacrosse kids, yeah.
I mean, you got Towson, you got Maryland, and you got Johns Hopkins in this
And you probably even know Gettysburg College if you're from down that way. You're one of the few people.
I actually do know someone who did go to Gettysburg College. So yes, I am familiar with your alma mater, Chris.
Where are you going to school now?
I am about to graduate from Towson University in approximately, well, by August 10th, I'll be a college graduate. Never looking back then.
Cram a little summer work in and wrap it all up, right?
Yeah, that's what it is, and I'm learning. And
well, congratulations. That's the biggest accomplishment, bigger than anything we talked about here. So.
Oh, I agree. Now, guys, don't forget to check out Chris's content. Link will be in my bio. Check out BPI Sports if you want some high quality supplements. Until next time, guys, but I got to go watch these Rockies over again. So really, again, check out Chris's stuff. Great CEO of a top supplement company. But until next time, guys, Underdog out.